Accidental inventions. We like to think that the great scientists, mathematicians, engineers, and inventors of history knew what they were doing. But this hasn't always been true. Many of the world's most important inventions are actually the result of very lucky accidents. Did you know that an American engineer called Percy Spencer invented the microwave oven? At the time, he was trying to develop a machine for sending microwaves in order to detect the position of aeroplanes. One day, while he was standing next to this machine, he noticed that the chocolate bar in his pocket was melting. The microwaves were cooking his chocolate bar. Spencer's company designed and manufactured the first microwave oven, and only 2 years later, in January 1947, it was cooking hot dogs in Grand Central Station in New York. One day, while he was sitting in a restaurant, the British designer Hubert Cecile Booth noticed that there was a lot of dust on the chair next to him. He placed his handkerchief on the chair, opened his mouth, placed it against the handkerchief and sucked. All the dust was on his handkerchief. He had a brilliant idea. He designed and built the first electric vacuum cleaner, which was so successful that the King of England used it to clean the carpets at Westminster Abbey before his coronation in 1901. Josephine Cochran had no interest in being an inventor. She was a very rich American woman, and she often used to have large dinner parties. The problem with dinner parties, however, was that her servants had to wash hundreds of dishes every day, and they were very slow. Consequently, in 1886, she decided to design a kitchen appliance to clean the dishes. It was so useful that her friends started to order dishwashers from her. Josephine found a manufacturer, and her dishwasher went into production.
It's amazing to think how things have changed since I was a boy. In our kitchen at home, we had a cooker and a fridge, and that was it. We used to wash dishes and plates by hand. I don't think anybody on our street owned a dishwasher or a microwave oven. And when we wanted to wash our clothes, we used to go to a launderette. It was a small shop in the high street near our house where people went to do their washing. I think my mother loved the launderette because she used to meet her friends there and have a chat. In the living room, we had a TV, of course, but it had a very small screen compared to nowadays, and there were only 3 channels. We never used to watch it during the week, only at weekends. And we had a record player. It belonged to my father, and he loved it. It was a hi-fi stereo record player. He used to play Frank Sinatra records all the time.
Well, I'm younger than Matt, much younger. So I remember having a big American fridge, a microwave, and a dishwasher at home when I was young. In fact, putting things in the dishwasher after dinner used to be my job when I was a teenager. But we didn't used to have a washing machine. All my friends' parents did, but we lived across the road from a laundrette, so my parents didn't think we needed one. I remember the old record player which we used to have, sitting in the corner of the living room. But I never used it. I had a portable TV and a cassette player in my room. So I used to sit for hours upstairs watching my favourite programmes and listening to cassettes. I still have all my old cassettes in a box somewhere in my parents' house. I never play them anymore, of course, now that everybody listens to CDs or downloads music from the internet. It's a shame, really. I have some great cassettes.
Has the mobile phone changed us? On New Year's Day, 1985, the popular comedian Ernie Wise made Britain's first mobile phone call. Since then, we have made billions of calls, sent billions of texts, and annoyed thousands of people on trains and buses. More recently, we have started using our phones for surfing the internet, taking photos, making videos, and playing music. Our phones have taken control of our lives and changed the way we behave. 30 years ago, we never used to listen to the conversations of strangers. On public transport, people were silent. If they were with friends, they spoke to them quietly. It was rude to listen to what they were saying. But nowadays, it's impossible not to take a bus or walk down the street without overhearing one side of someone's conversation. Every day we tell strangers what we do in our jobs, what we do in our free time, how we feel. And of course, we don't care that they're listening to us. We have changed our behaviour in other ways. For example, we have all developed a new way of speaking, especially on the mobile phone. It's louder than the voice we use when we are talking to someone who is sitting next to us. We send tweets and texts all the time, commenting on everything we are thinking about and everything we are looking at. Mobile phone technology is, of course, a wonderful thing. It has improved the lives of people in Africa and Asia, where the old telephone system was terrible. It has helped business people who can now work when they're travelling. And it has changed the lives of teenagers who can now stay in touch with friends all the time. But there are drawbacks. We now live in a world of constant conversations and very few surprises.
Hello and welcome to Ordinary People. In today's program, we're talking to Ray South. His life has changed because of an important new invention. So, Ray, what invention has changed your life and why?
Well, it's this really small thing that goes in my ear. I'm very deaf, so without it I can't hear anything. My hearing aid is really important for me. I use it to have conversations with friends and family and to listen to the radio and watch TV. I've had a hearing aid all my life, but I've only had this new one for 6 months. I bought it in Germany because it is the best hearing aid on the market. It's small, light and very powerful. I can hear everything with it. When I was young, I used to have a very large hearing aid. It was embarrassing because people could see it behind my ear. Everybody knew that I was deaf. But this hearing aid is inside my ear. You can't see it. It's important to me because I can have a normal, busy life when I'm using it.
Hello and welcome back to the show. My next guest is Judith Nicholson, who has just written a book called Underestimated Women. Judith, tell us about your new book.
Most science programs and books concentrate on the great inventions of men. I wanted to redress the balance and show how much women have contributed to modern society.
OK, so what sort of things have women contributed to the modern world?
Well, Sarah Babbitt, who is a Shaker, a member of a religious community in the northeast of the USA, invented the circular saw in 1810. It made the cutting of wood much easier and effective, and has saved many hours of work for men and women who worked in building and farming, and still does.
Wow, I didn't know that. In fact, I never thought about it before.
Another surprising invention is Kevlar, which is used in protective clothing, but also for tires and strong ropes. If you have a boat, then it'll be tied up with a rope containing Kevlar.
Oh, who invented Kevlar?
A Polish-American chemist, Stephanie Kwolek, in 1965 while she was working for a chemical company. Now it's one of the most useful materials, and you probably use something containing Kevlar at least once a day.
And I suppose a woman invented liquid paper?
Well, I imagine you think that because secretaries are traditionally women. But yes, in 1951, Bette Nesmith Graham invented the first correction fluid in her kitchen. When she was working as a typist, she used to make many mistakes and wanted to find a way to correct them. She used to sell it from her home, but offered the patent to IBM, who didn't buy it, and she continued to make it at home for 17 years until she sold it for $47.5 million. Interestingly, her son was more famous because he was a member of the pop group The Monkees.
How amazing! Well, thanks for coming into the studio and telling us about these inventions, Judith.
The other day I listened to a radio program about a new book on women inventors. And I thought of you because you said you were looking for a present for your friend. The book is called Underestimated Women by Judith Nicholson. She was motivated to write the book because most science books and programs only talk about men. Nicholson's book tells the story of women who who invented many useful things, such as the circular saw, Kevlar, and liquid paper. It sounds very interesting and inspiring. What do you think? I think it would make a perfect gift for your friend.
With me in the studio is Professor Amy White. You have invented an amazing number of useful things, Professor. How have you managed to invent so many?
Well, it isn't just me, you know. I work in the laboratory of a large plastics company, and it's the job of me and the other scientists on my team to develop new plastic products. Together we've designed new types of credit cards, a revolutionary new type of CD cover, and even a disposable camera.
So, when did you invent your first object?
Well, before I got my present job at International Plastics, I used to work for a company called New Ideas. That was between 1998 and 2003. There I developed a new type of pen.
A pen?
Well, yes, it doesn't sound exciting, but it was a new design at the time. In the late 1990s, another company called Plastic World developed a lot of new plastic products. Headphones, lamps, radios, all made of plastic. They were very successful, so it was important that my company invented new things too.
What have you and your team invented most recently?
OK, well, we've recently moved into electronics, so our inventions are in that area. We've invented a new type of electronic calculator and a mobile phone. And we want to start work on a new type of laptop next spring.
Well, that's all fascinating, Professor. Thank you for coming into the studio to tell us about your career.
You're welcome.